have authority to take him into custody because we had litigated that issue prior, and of course also because when he was there was this issue when he was arrested in the first place. He was arrested without an arrest warrant in the first place. So I knew there was an issue about this in the first place. And so I just simply asked for the papers, and then next thing I know, I was being taken down.
Did you raise your voice at all? That's what people are saying. Did you raise your voice when you were talking to the judge, or were you just talking?
No, I was actually leaning down into the mic so make sure that I could be heard.
And then what happened? The U.S. Marshals came up, or the courtroom security came up?
Yeah, the marshals had surrounded me, and then they took a hold of me, and then they said, "Stop resisting." And I said, "Well, what are you talking about? I'm not resisting. You have a hold of me."
Did they fire a taser at you?
Yeah, they tased me.
Did they hit you?
Yeah, it was right. I was already on the ground actually when they tased me.
In all your years in law, have you ever experienced anything like this or seen something like this happen?
Never have seen anything like this. And to be accused of disorderly conduct, I was only asking for papers. That's what I was asking. In other words, if they're gonna keep Mr. Bundy in custody, then just show me that you have the authority, because we had litigated this issue before, and they said they didn't have the authority to modify his release conditions. So I said, well, so show me the authority. Show me the papers. That's all.
In all this, did they ever show you those papers?
No, they never did.
Did they charge you with anything? I mean, what happened after you were booked?
Yeah, I was cited for disorderly conduct and for for resisting lawful order of police or something.
What about Judge Brown? Do you think she handled it well? What about Judge Brown during all this?
Judge Brown, I don't know what she was doing, but she and I had a brief exchange after they picked me up off the ground. We had a brief exchange, and I told her how much I respected her and how much it was a privilege to litigate in front of her.
Sir, could you take us through the tasing? How many times were you tasing? Exactly what happened?
I don't. You'll have to probably talk to somebody who was watching. I felt the one.
We can get the microphone.
And I don't know how many it was, but I'm like, I was already down on the ground when it happened.
How are you doing now?
How about the verdict? Thanks.
Well, of course, we're very pleased with the verdict. Very pleased that justice was done here. That we were able to present our case to, and keep in mind, this is what Mr. Bundy wanted from the beginning. He wanted to present his case to the American people, and he presented his case to a jury of his peers, and was acquitted. So he's very.
But he was acquitted of not conspiring to be federal officers.
Of all charges,
right? But it's not about his message.
No, I gotta be able to grab that back from you. So I'm just gonna.
Those cases are coming.
Well, I don't. I mean, that was.
You said he wanted to
litigate
the case he wanted.
We litigate the cases that we can, right? I mean, the cases that are there, and yes, that's what we did here.
So what do you think, looking ahead to the Nevada case? What are you going to do?
You'll have to talk with his Nevada attorneys down there, and I think he's very eager. He's just as eager to defend himself down there as he was here.
And what will you tell them? What are you going to tell them that you think worked for you in this case?
Mic on?
The great thing about the truth is it's so easy to tell.
I mean, I will tell you, we've already started to review the evidence there. The overreach, the same governmental overreach that we saw in this case is there. I mean, we have heard the BLM agents on the cameras talking about how they're going to shoot first and ask questions later on there, and that was the approach that they were taking. And so again, this message of government overreach has got to stop, and that's what, and it's got to stop somewhere. And we're very pleased with the decision we have here, and it'll go forward from there.
Were you expecting Mr. Bundy to be able to walk out these doors if he was found not guilty?
We're just getting out of the
I knew that is how this system works. Is when you get acquitted, you get released, and that's what I knew. And so and if they have an arrest warrant, then show it to me. That's all.
And they never showed it to you?
No, never did.
Have you been able
to talk to Emmett Bundy at all?
No, I was taken to a different holding cell.
What are you going to tell them when you talk to them?
Of course, we're gonna talk about what went right.
Marcus, we're live now. Can you describe what happened after the verdicts were read?
Okay, well,
Walk us through that. We're live right now for the viewers.
So after the verdicts were read, the court said, hey, you're free to go, but the marshals might have something to say about it. So I said, well, if the marshals have something to say about it, let's see what orders they have. Let's see what papers they have that give them authority to take him into to custody again. Otherwise, Mr. Bundy's a free man.
And
he
those
should be able to-
marshals
to
eventually
leave.
moved in and
Yeah,
did what?
they had surrounded me at that point, and so I just turned to them and I said, "Guys, show me what papers you have." And the next thing I know, they surrounded me, they took a hold of me, and they were talking about how I was resisting arrest when I was simply, they just had a hold of me, and then they put me.
Your legs,
Yeah, they put me to. They were twisting my legs and put me to the ground, and then they tased me.
How are you physically?
How was I physically?
How are you physically right now?
Well, I'm not a real good-looking guy. I've never been a real.
You know what I mean.
No, but in terms of
hooker-
the force that they may have
hooker.
put on you.
Hey, I grew up on a dairy farm, so am I used to some rough treatment? Sure.
Do you think they acted appropriately,
I think
marshals?
that's Marcus.
No, they did.
Tell me
Appropriate. All I was asking for was papers. Man, just show me that you have the authority to take. Yeah, to show me that you have the authority to take Mr. Bundy in custody.
So they didn't show you that authority, so how is he still in custody?
Well, because they don't have any. Who's going to hold them to account? The
word's lawlessness.
People do.
How many times were you tased?
At least
With
once.
when the jury gave that not guilty verdict, what was going through your mind?
Oh, very, very pleased, very gratified. It's always. This jury was dedicated. They listened. They listened carefully. The judge commented that throughout the case. They listened to our case, and of course, it's very gratifying, to get the kind of verdict that we did get.
Thank you.
Do you know how many times you were tased?
I think just once. I don't know, but I felt it once, and I went, oh, don't tase me. That's what I was saying. I was like, don't tase me. You don't need to. I'm on the ground.
I've heard